Naturally, I'm a very shy person and I love keeping to myself. But there was that weekend when our church pastor came around and informed me that there was going to be a constituency meeting somewhere, and he invited me to come along. I objected to it at first, but he pressurized me and I agreed. I followed him. So getting to the constituency meeting, it was on a Sabbath that we went. It was a beautiful Sabbath. After church service, everybody came out and we were exchanging pleasantries. So this guy just came around and greeted me, and there were quite a lot of people around, so I didn't even notice him. He greeted me and asked me, could he pay me a visit? I said, no problem. You are welcome to my home anytime. I never knew I was committing myself. So after the old program, we left. And by the third day, the church pastor came to our house. And I saw that I didn't come alone. He came with that guy that asked me if he could come to pay a visit. And I thought he just accompanied the pastor. So he greeted me, and later I discovered that pastor just left. And I told him, guy, the pastor that brought you had left. He said he knew that it was me he had come to see. Why would you come to see me? Why would you come to see me? I never knew you were serious when you were asking me on Saturday. Was that why you came? He said, no, I have come to just ask you to be my wife. I can see that you are a matured girl, and I need a wife, so I know you should be my wife. I looked at him, I said, you? Husband? No, just like that. So he said, what do you do? He said, he's a pastor. You a pastor? Never? I can never marry a pastor. I told him I could never marry a pastor. He asked, why? Is it because pastors are not too rich and things like that? I said, no, I like my quiet life. Pastors' wives are always public figures. I don't want that. I don't want that. I'm happy being a church member. So let me just go to church and return home. But he said, okay, you are a child of God. Why not commit it to God in prayer? Okay, I said, God, no, this one must never be my husband. And so I love the story of Gideon in the Bible. And I told God, God, I'm like Gideon. And so I'm going to put this to test. I'm going to put this to test. So that was how I started praying. And I gave God serious conditions that I thought he would not be able to meet. The first time I told God, I placed 3 names before him. I had other 2 friends that are not Seventh-day Adventist members. And I said, God, which of these 3 guys would be my husband? I said, like Gideon, I'm going to put you to test. Anyone that sends me a letter that day would be the one. And the 3 of them were far away from me. And so that day, nothing happened all through the day. I was getting ready it was night, I was getting ready to sleep, and we had a knock on our door. A neighbor came with a letter. And said the letter was from me, for me, that the church pastor traveled and he brought the letter. I said, letter for me? I had forgotten. I prayed in the morning. And so when I opened the letter that was addressed to me, it was from this pastor. I cried. I said, God, you mean I would be a pastor's wife? Oh, no, God, I don't want to be a pastor's wife. But I struggled with God, but God said, that is going to be your husband. And today, by God's grace, we are happily married, and it's been 20 years. The marriage. We are happily married and blessed with children.